Hi everyone, it's the Psychic Sleuth, and I'm here today. I'm going to be doing Suzanne Morphew. I have been trying to get to it for some time, so I finally did it. Just so you know, if you guys can make donations to my page, to my YouTube channel, I would appreciate it. You don't have to, but this does take a lot of time and a lot of energy. As you can see, I'm super tired. This was a very draining reading. I love to do it. It's something that I feel like I'm drawn to, so like I said, nobody has to, just if they want to. The information will be posted below as well for the information for the t-shirts, my book, and everything else. So I did this reading 10/22/2020, so last night. Actually, the person I was doing the reading with fell asleep on me. But things can be past, present, or future. They can be symbolic or have multiple meanings. In my readings, I do get interconnect, so I will tell you what I feel fits from prior cases, since I do sometimes get information on missing people before they ever go missing. And if you're part of the Psychic Sleuth group, I do post things in there that kind of validate. I feel like I have been getting information on Suzanne since Cheryl, Mackenzie, Jennifer Dulos, and a case, Katie Cawthorn, that I didn't release on a video for fear of her being moved. Then also Linda, which was most recently. So many of you said that some of the stuff that came in Linda's reading actually fits Suzanne, and you were right. So I do get interconnects. This case, and she seemed to have taken over Linda's reading from what I'm seeing now when I'm looking at the map. So this case and this reading that I just did on Suzanne was pretty focused, though. She was one of the strongest spirits I think I've ever channeled. She was super strong, and I was really trying to keep up with her. Spirit will bring in what they feel is most important. Since I mostly work with my clairvoyance, I get a lot of description. It's about putting puzzle pieces together to see what happened, as well as where she could be. Things may be mentioned that are close by, on the way, or surrounding area, or somehow involved, etc. I can only give what Spirit shows or gives me. I do have to give you a trigger warning here. I will try to explain as gentle as I can, but I will tell you that what she showed me, it was extremely violent and vivid. This is going to be a more graphic reading than what you guys are used to from me. As well as, if you've ever had any kind of abuse in your life, I would suggest, I'm just letting you know this is a trigger warning. But she really wanted people to know what was done to her. And it was so out there that I hope it's accurate. I don't know how it couldn't be, because it was like a movie. So all I know is what she showed me, and like I said, it was pretty clear. I've gotten the name Barry since way back in Mackenzie, which was over a year ago. So, anyways, I was saying back in Mackenzie, which was over a year ago, you can go back and listen to that if you want to, as well as I got the name Barry and Jennifer Dulos, which that interconnect would make sense because the case is similar to this one. She had a lot of money, the husband was involved, that kind of thing. So there might even be more in her reading. I would have to go back and look. Also, readings I did on Katie Cawthorn that are posted in the Sleuth group. Right before Suzanne went missing, I got buried twice, I think, in there. And I didn't post that reading because I was worried that the people might move her or something. So that's why she's not posted, but it's been posted in the group. So Spirit was really trying to come through with that name and tell me so that when this happened, I would know. So I've been getting his name for over a year now. So when she went missing and I saw that was his name, I knew right away what they were trying to tell me all this time. There are also significant things I have been getting for quite a while that I will mention later on. Also, everyone is innocent till proven guilty. This is just my psychic medium impressions from the spirit of Suzanne Morphew. Hope I'm saying that right. I did not know any details about the case, just that she went missing and Barry was a POI, which, as I said, I'd already gotten his name, so when I heard it, I already knew. And that's one reason I felt like I had to work on this case. Because if I'm getting that name for over a year now, there's a reason. Spirit's given it to me. I've got to take the case. So, first of all, I have to say that my clairsentience isn't as strong as I would like when it comes to maps. but it can be stronger in other ways. I did feel extremely sick and nauseous when looking at him last night. This has never really happened with a POI before. That told me a lot. Okay, when I was shown a picture of her, I don't know why she kept mentioning her wedding picture or her wedding. So I don't know if that had something to do with her wedding picture or just symbolized a wedding, but she said, "I can't believe I married such a disgusting man." I was getting a tight feeling in my throat, but stronger with her. My throat was becoming scratchy. There was something with his business or their estate that he needed her gone for. I kept getting like money and something there with money and their estate. There is one place I see in particular that has a really green area, like really green grass and longer type yard, kind of rolling in a way. The yard is all in the front, and the house is further back, sits further back. There is a lot of logs, so kind of like more like there's wood or logs to this house and glass. And I also was getting something about a pond or a small body of water, and then the mention of stone. So I was wondering if there's pictures I could draw if I needed to scratch it up what I was seeing. If not, that property is important somehow. Sorry about my bird. She's just learning to talk and make noises. So I was getting stuff before the reading, and I kept feeling like he killed her in a bit of rage at the house. I get a reference to being choked. There was a reference to a knife, but I also hear a gunshot. So this was kind of confusing. So I don't know if all three were managed somehow, but there was a lot of anger and rage. He completely lost it. Although I felt like he thought about killing her often, where he would put her and how he would do it. I see blood splatter on his face, and she's lying there like showing me it's the last thing she sees is his face. Him like kneeling over her as her life drains out. Also, I get a reference to they had some sort of, I don't know if it was an SUV, but I was shown an SUV, and it was weird because I saw an SUV and then there was a mention of a truck, which I think the truck is his. But I got a reference to a silver type car, or bluish, like light blue silver color kind of SUV, or I don't know. I was just seeing that color. But again, a truck. So I'm not sure if he has a truck, but there's something like this. I also see her being put in the truck. She's covered up, but is in the back seat. Looks like he possibly used thicker plastic. Also, there's a reference, there's a reference to he's got a shovel in there. I see it in the back. There's a reference to him grabbing trash bags as well as large rolling luggage, I believe black. As I type, I get a maroon color, so I'm not really sure why. I hear power tools. She's super strong and very visual. I'm like, go girl. I was trying to keep up, typing as fast as I could. I also see him grab duct tape for some reason and bleach. Now, but I don't know if that's at home. He may have bought some more later, but I see that he puts it all in his truck, like in a bag, and puts it in his truck with her. So he killed her at the house is what I was getting. And then he leaves his stuff in the car, and her, and he takes her bike, also ends up dropping it off where it was found before he leaves. And there was a reference to a bridge. I remember that bike came in again, and so I was wondering if more didn't come in his reading for her because it was in Colorado, which would make sense for the interconnect. I get like a long kind, so there might be clues in his reading as well. But I kind of get like a long drive at this point. I get a reference to being dark or like early morning, dark early morning. As I'm typing this, I don't know why she was showing me her daughter, but I was seeing her daughter. And now she's taking me backwards, so I don't know if he was abusive or it was just this night that he did this, because she shows me, and this is a trigger warning, him slapping her hard to where her head is jerked and she falls over to the side. She has a bloody nose and lip at this point. Also, that night he slapped her, punched her, grabbed her hair, and dragged her. Like I said, it was sort of a trigger for me, so it's probably going to be a trigger for you. There was if you've ever been in this type of situation, or if you have a hard time handling that stuff. He really did beat the crap out of her, kicked her. She showed me her ribs. I think he beat her, strangled her, as I saw his hands around her throat, possibly stabbed her. I saw a knife on the counter and him grab it. So there was a reference to a picture frame being knocked off and other things breaking as I hear breaking glass as I was typing this out. I also got a reference to a gun and a gun going off and a reference to her head. And she shows me it like a horror movie with some crazy man. It was a lot. Very like violent, rage, crazy. But I see her being dragged throughout the house and thrown when he's beating on her. A reference to the couch. She really does try to fight back. She takes me back to the truck. I wonder if the truck is an extended cab. Was seen an extended cab and heard extended cab. I think this is where he was careful to cover the seats and everything. Then she was saying it was sort of windy in the car for a while and flashes a hotel sign at me. Confused really at how he gets her in there, though that part I can't see too well, but hopefully this is accurate because this is just wild and crazy to me. There is a reference to the bathtub and tools like power tools, and a lot of blood was what I was seeing. That was one thing I was seeing, was a lot of blood. Trash bags tied around with duct tape, and it was a freaking like horror movie in my head at that point. I really hope I was wrong and hope I am wrong about that part. Because I kept thinking, if I say this and I put it out and then it's not right, then what WTF am I seeing this for? But it is so vivid and clear, at the same time hard to believe, like something out of a horror show. So it is hard for me to believe, but I know that things do like this happen, and if she's showing me everything like a movie and very clearly, more than likely that's why. Anyway, there was a reference to a trash bag, duct tape around the ends, placed in a rolling luggage. Now she's easy to move. This is what I kept thinking and asking, well, how did he move you? This is what I also saw before the reading, and I was nauseated. I guess he became a real monster. She says money will do that type of thing, and I feel like he started hating her for some reason. I wouldn't be too surprised if there was another woman either. But after I was done typing this, or while I was typing it, I kept being reminded of like Chris Watts' kind of personality. And that situation like with another woman. But I think there's also something, like I said, with the estate and money involved. I kept hearing Chelsea, that name, but I don't know why or who that is. So I do get that he had her at that area for one point where I guess they said, because I was told that the dogs hit on something, or it's possible that she's in different locations, if you get my drift, because I got a couple of different locations I'll explain, but something about he heard through the grapevine or got scared, maybe they would check, because he was a suspect and moved her. I'm starting to see where she is. It's more of a random spot, but there was a reference to a storage unit or area. Wasn't sure what that means, and then I kept hearing Charlie for some reason. So I don't know if there's that name anywhere like that. I did find a place, St. Charles Road. It was about an hour or so out of Denver, so I'm not sure if it's here, but like I said, I'm going to be mentioning a few different places. It either might just be someone else in Colorado, or it could be that she's in more than one spot. So there was a reference to golf course or some type of course, green rolling hills like one, and an area with a forest and mountains behind the golf course. My body felt really weird at this point. It was probably her energy. I also felt sick. So she was taking me to this golf course. There was some sort of windy-ish road that goes into the golf course, or like right before you get to the golf course. And then if you go around it, like if you pass golf course and you take a road, I think it leads into the woods. And then I don't know if you keep going through the woods, then you hit the mountains. When I say woods, I mean like just a bunch of trees. It might not be considered woods, but it reminds me of woods. So sorry about that. So I think there is a river on the other side. Like if you stand at this spot and look across, there's a river. Like if you stand where I'm thinking, behind the golf course or by the golf course, there's woods and mountains there. Like if you turn around and you look back, there's a reference to river. Either river or it's either a river or a creek, but it flows like a river. I think it's a river. And at this point, I was hearing Arkansas. So I want to say that this golf course is on the left, or the woods are on the left. It all seems to be on that side when you're going to Denver area or in that direction. But up the map, I'm not good at direction. So then you take this little road. I think there's even maybe a gate to the golf course. I don't know. But there's woods behind it that aren't part of the golf course. Like if you pass the golf course and you keep going kind of thing. Like the golf course would be there, but if you pass the golf course and then you were to turn on a little road and you go behind it, that's where you would hit trees or woods and mountains. I was wondering if he played golf or just knew this area. It's a place he's aware of. The golf seems sort of ritzy. I'm wondering if this is why he kept coming up, or if why I kept coming up with in the green. Sorry, my cat. Sorry about that. In the green, in Linda. And I think if I remember right, golf course came in Linda too. But she's actually hidden in the woods. I'm a bit confused on if she's all in one area though. She could be scattered like I said, but the bag's buried, because it seems I was being shown different areas, and I'll tell you a few things I've gotten that led to another location. But I got a reference to how pine needles are forest sounds when you walk on them with boots. Also what I kept hearing. And it was weird, I saw him whistling as he has a shovel in one hand and he's walking through with the suitcase and the shovel and the bags. So, as I was typing this, I was seeing him cleaning a lot with bleach, like scrubbing the house, fixing things that fell, and then I see him in the hotel scrubbing and putting bleach down the drain. Then I see him clean himself with bleach as he's like scrubbing with a scrub sponge like all over his body and his fingernails, etc. So that was kind of a random thing that popped in while I was typing. There's a reference to a larger rock. It has levels to it. If I look across, like I stop and look backwards across the main road, like I said, is a river or creek. I think it's a river, and then this is when I did get Arkansas. I was seeing the word spelled out. Heard that as I type, but I don't know what up the block means. But I heard that as well, because she was draining me really fast. And there's some sort of statue of a man or something, I think. I don't know if it was at the golf course or by it, or it marks something, and a waterfall. Or it could just be a reference point being passed or whatever. Because I can get reference points that kind of, help us find the area. So if I went to the right, if I went to the right of it and passed it, and then there would be woods behind it, possible I see like empty fields along the way. I don't know if it's ranches or just empty space. It feels of a ritzy area. I don't know if I'm making sense. I was trying not to puke at this time with her energy being so strong. I hear that a-hole. I get a reference to him singing something, so I don't know. Not singing, signing. I put singing, but signing something. I don't know if he took out life insurance and forged her signature or what. I don't know if there's something with the estate and the money because he needs it. And that was the only way he could get it. Plus, she's saying that she found out about some shady crap. She said S-H-I-T though. As I'm typing, I hear follow the money trail, follow the paper trail. But it was with money and his work or something. Shady business dealings, which she walked in on him. Plus, he wanted to be free of her, didn't want to go through divorce, lose everything, greedy. And as I said, as I was writing this, typing this, I was getting reference to a woman. I always see a bear when I think of her. I got this months ago, so that came in again. And I hear the word bobcat. I think that was all I getting at that point. I don't know if she has a sister or something, or someone that's like a sister, could even be a sister-in-law, but I heard the word sister. Now, some things that I got in Linda's that I think could fit her. If it's not her, it's someone. So, Cherry Creek. I got Cherry Creek in Linda. Cherry also came in Mackenzie as well as Cheryl, and then I was shown, like I said, Cherry multiple times in Linda. Now, this makes sense for both of these because Mackenzie was in the mountains as part of her was cut, and then Cheryl, her husband, is thought to be involved. But I also got Windmill in Linda. There's a Windmill Creek in the Cherry Creek Park. Berry could have multiple meanings. There's also Berry Street there. It's a large street. and there's a lot that go off that are still Berry Street. So I'm just wondering. There's also a street called Willow. That's from Linda's, and I've gotten that for a while. There's also a road, 30. That was also from Linda. And I got 80 in a reading I tried to do for Dulce. Didn't get much. Thought it wasn't worth releasing, but 80 came in there. Fox also came a lot in Cheryl. That is in this area. There's also a Summer Lake. Summer came in Linda. There is a campground as well, and there is a park in that area called Bear Park, as well as Sunset on my list. There's also a shooting range in the area that came in Cheryl, and horses. That's been coming up for a long time, and also in Linda's. So somehow, because of the fact that I got the actual name of the park, Cherry Creek Park, it happens to be in Aurora. Funny fact, I named my dog that about 4 years ago. That park is either significant for her or someone, because it's actually not common that I get a name of a park that a name of the whole park, and actually so much else fits there. I know also, like I said, Cherry kept being shown to me in Linda's and last reading. There's also Pipeline Road, which I've gotten long ago, and Erica's, but it's also on my list. Also in Linda, I got a helicopter. I think it was Linda. It might have been that other one I did, but that I didn't release on Dulce, but I had gotten it before. Their house isn't far from a little airport. In Gannon, I was getting Mountain Lion. They're also known as Pumas. That's the street I was told she lived off of, so hopefully that info is right. If so, it could be just another thing I got in Gannon for her. Just wondering if there's more. Okay, so I looked for a golf course with woods and mountains behind it, up from where I was told the house was. Well, what I found is kind of interesting. So there is a golf course. There is golf courses, but there's 4 Mile Ranch Golf Course. And behind that is Beaver Creek State Wildlife Area. Now, Beaver Creek came a ton in Cheryl, like it was every reading. And like I said, that would be a good interconnect because, they think husband was involved in that one as well. But Beaver also just came in Linda's on the last reading I did. Also Red coming in Linda's really strong, as well as Sheep. And all of that around this area. There's a Red Hill and a Sheep Mountain. If you go behind that golf course, you run into the woods and then the mountains. So if you look back across the road, there is a river, and it's Arkansas's river. There is a road number 7, which came in Linda, and it's come in multiple times. She did seem to take over Linda's. Now, that doesn't mean that some of the stuff didn't match Linda's. That's what the interconnects is about. So there's a lot here that makes sense. She could be scattered there, or there is a reason I got Cherry Creek. I'm not exactly sure if it's because she's also there or what. Anyways, this was just me trying to put together what I saw, which is very hard on a map. So if you're from Colorado, please let me know if this makes sense. I plan on trying to do more readings for her. She is pretty strong and did give a lot of info on this reading, and it does seem to all match up to where I was just talking about. So, I will put the ways to reach me, as I always do, in the description. Until next time, I'll see you later.